As of One Piece Chapter 1126, the Egghead incident is officially over. This pivotal event stemmed from the world government's decision to kill Dr. Vegapunk for his research on forbidden subjects. The Straw Hat Pirates got involved in the assassination attempt, which caused Egghead to become a chaotic battlefield. The situation only escalated further when Admiral Kizaru fatally struck Vegapunk. The scientist's demise triggered the broadcast of a pre-recorded message, whose groundbreaking content forced the five elders to personally go to Egghead in order to stop the transmission. With major reveals and unexpected twists, the Egghead incident pushed the One Piece story forward, marking the beginning of the franchise's final saga. This thread will list the 25 strongest One Piece characters who played an active role in the event, ranking them from weakest to strongest based on their feats and overall combat prowess. An in-depth analysis of Egghead's power levels as of One Piece Chapter 1126. 25. Brook, the musician of the Straw Hat Pirates. Brook returned to life after dying thanks to the Revive fruit. He can now use this power to move his soul independently from his body, much like a ghost, and unleash the cold of the underworld to perform freezing attacks. Brook uses his Devil Fruit ability to freeze any target he slices with his sword, Soul Solid. During the Egghead incident, he demonstrated his prowess by cutting off one of Saint Saturn's limbs to protect Nico Robin. 24. Nico Robin. Owing to the Flower Fruit, the Straw Hat Crew's archaeologist Nico Robin can sprout duplicates of her body from any surface within range. She can trick her enemies with clones of herself, as well as overwhelm them by conjuring countless limbs or giant-sized body parts. Unfortunately, Robin's battle performance on Egghead wasn't good. She was beaten by a Seraph, and spent the rest of the arc recovering from her injuries and needing the help of others to survive. However, given her versatile and lethal Devil Fruit abilities, she remains a capable fighter. 23. Doberman didn't actually show the full scope of his abilities during the Egghead incident, but he is bound to be a decently powerful fighter. During the Marineford arc, he was able to leave the battlefield without any visible injury despite having fought throughout the entire Paramount War. The Vice Admirals sent to Egghead were quite underwhelming, but Doberman may deserve the benefit of the doubt as his status is above theirs. Despite having the same formal rank, he ordered the other Vice Admirals around. Also, he only reported directly to Kizaru and Saint Saturn. 22. Frankie. After convincingly beating Beast's Pirates officer Sasaki in the previous One Piece arc, in Egghead Frankie confirmed himself as a capable fighter and the Straw Hat Crew's fifth strongest member. Saint Saturn even praised him as an example of the Straw Hats being a Yonko-level crew. With his superhuman strength and bionic enhancements, Frankie defeated Vice Admiral Red King with a single blow. He also endured a direct hit from Kizaru. While Kizaru clearly didn't use his full power, it was still impressive to see Frankie get up without any repercussions just moments after being struck by an admiral. Assuming that he manages to hit them with his radical beam technique, Frankie can potentially injure even fighters far above his pay grade. Using this attack against Saint Saturn, he blasted a huge hole through the latter's body. However, Saturn quickly regenerated himself. 21. Sentomaru is rather proficient with armament haki, as he can create defensive barriers strong enough to block most attacks. He can also propel his Busoshoku via sumo-style open palm thrusts in order to damage his enemies without physically touching them. Given his uncommon combat skills, it's easy to see why Sentomaru became the commander of the Navy's science unit and Dr. Vegapunk's personal bodyguard. Despite his physical prowess and haki skills, however, Sentomaru was quickly defeated by Rob Luchi. He later faced the same fate against Kizaru. 20. Jewelry. Bonnie is a worst-generation supernova, like Luffy and Zoro, a 12-year-old girl who uses the Age fruit to appear as a young adult woman. Bonnie can manipulate the aging process of organic and inorganic matter. She easily defeated 3 Vice Admirals, namely Pomsky, Doll, and Bluegrass, by de-aging them into children. By aging herself up into any possible alternate future version of herself that she can imagine, Bonnie can alter her body. She was able to make it large and muscular like that of a buccaneer and even imitate Luffy's Gear 5 form, turning herself into a replica of Sun God, Nika. In that form, she joined forces with Luffy to pummel Saint Saturn. However, at the moment, Bonnie can only keep her transformation active for a very short time. Thus, she can't win against any high-level fighter by herself. 19. Stussy. A clone of the homonymous Rocks pirate member, Stussy is a nimble fighter who can even use advanced Rokaseki techniques. She can also knock out devil fruit users with a special Seaston item, as well as put people to sleep by biting them with her vampire-like teeth. Despite being a CP0 elite agent, Stussy is loyal to her creator, Vegapunk. Exploiting both her insidious abilities and the shock caused by her sudden betrayal, Stussy subdued her fellow CP0 colleagues Kaku and Rob Luchi. However, she admitted that she would never try to face Luchi or Kaku in a fair fight, as they were too strong for her to handle. In fact, when Luchi tried to kill Vegapunk, Stussy was unable to stop him, even if he only performed a very basic attack, without using either his Zoan powers or his Haki. The best thing Stussy could do was act as a human shield for Vegapunk. Even then, she couldn't withstand Luchi's strike and was severely injured. 18. Kaku, the right-hand man of Rob Luchi. Kaku is an elite agent of CP0, which makes him one of the most powerful fighters in the world government's service. Kaku can use the four-sword style, a formidable combination of swordsmanship, Zoan powers, and Rokaseki techniques. Kaku can also use armament Haki hardening. What's even more impressive, he is an awakened Zoan user. Stussy praised Kaku's combat prowess, calling him a powerful fighter that she wouldn't want to challenge head-on. Kaku can now use the ravaging Sky Slicer Rankyaku in base, whereas before the time skip he had to enter his Zoan form to perform it. Despite his improved strength, however, Kaku was no match for Roronoa Zoro, who easily overpowered him in their rematch in Egghead. Later, Kaku was injured while fighting alone against two Seraphim. 17. Jinbe is a former member of the Seven Warlords. Jinbe is one of the strongest Straw Hats. He was able to fight on par with the Logia user Portgas D-Ace, quickly take down fellow Warlord Gecko Moria, temporarily stop an enraged Big Mom, and brutally defeat Beast's Pirates officer Who's Who. A master of Fishman Karate, which he uses to control any surrounding water source, including the water inside the enemy's body, Jinbe also stands out for his natural durability, remarkable physical strength, and powerful armament Haki. During the Egghead incident, Jinbe mainly acted as a supporting character. He used a special smokescreen-like move to disappear from Saint Mars' view. He also used a technique to throw Roronoa Zoro into the air, enabling him to reach Saint Nosturo before the evil Gorosei could destroy the Thousand Sunny. 16. Brogy, one of the two captains of the giant warrior pirates alongside Dory, Brogy wields a shield and a battle axe. After the unforgettable Little Garden arc, the two mighty giants returned in grand style as they came to Egghead to help the Straw Hats leave the island. Teaming up with his friend and peer Dory, Brogy was able to block a strike from Saint Walkyrie. The two giants even counterattacked, sending Walkyrie to crash into the nearby buildings. Despite their large size, Dory and Brogy were also able to move fast enough to intercept Saint Jupiter. Two living legends of Elbaf, Dory and Brogy can also use their weapons to unleash Hikoku, a tremendous long-distance technique in which they join forces to create two huge air beams. This attack is likely the result of an advanced form of armament Haki. 16. Dory is a powerful fighter who wields a shield and a long sword. He is one of the two captains of the giant warrior pirates alongside Brogy. Upon arriving on Egghead, the two demonstrated their might as they defeated Vice Admiral Tosa with a single blow. The two then struck Saint Jupiter with a combined attack, beheading him, although he regenerated himself. Later, Dory and Brogy successfully defended and counterattacked against the formidable Saint Topman Walkyrie. These deeds show why even Shanks holds Dory and Brogy in high regard. Still, they always fight as a pair, meaning that their feats don't reflect their individual strength but the result of their joint effort. Nevertheless, it's clear that One Piece author Eiichiro Oda brought them back to emphasize them as powerful fighters. 15. Bartholomew Kuma, a former dangerous pirate, warlord, and prominent member of the Revolutionary Army, Bartholomew Kuma allowed himself to be turned into a mindless cyborg as part of a deal he made with St. J. Garcia Saturn to save Jewelry Bonnie's life. Kuma's body now combines the buccaneer race's physical prowess with the enhanced toughness of a pacifista. He can also use the paw fruit to repel anything he touches with his paw pads, including incorporeal things. As such, Kuma can defend himself from incoming attacks, move at high speed, and create shockwaves. Despite the injuries that Fleet Admiral Akainu had inflicted on him, Kuma made it to Egghead just in time to protect Bonnie from Saint Saturn. Kuma shielded Bonnie with his own body and then struck Saturn with a tremendous armament Haki amped punch, smashing him through several buildings as well as tearing off his arm and horn. 14. S-Shark cyborgs that combine the lineage factor of the 7 warlords with King's Lunarian DNA, the Seraphim are living weapons with incredible resilience. S-Shark, the Seraph based on Jinbe, used his enhanced durability to withstand Nami and Sanji's attacks. Just a moment after being hit, he showed no sign of injury. S-Shark can use an artificial replica of the Swim fruit to liquefy solid structures in order to swim through them. Owing to Jinbe's lineage factor, S-Shark can also manipulate the liquefied ground to perform some basic fishman karate techniques. 13. S-Snake is the Seraph based on Boa Hancock. Like the other Seraphim, S-Snake is enhanced with King's DNA, which grants her the unreal durability of Lunarians. She can also use a green blood replicated version of Hancock's Love fruit. This devil fruit allows its users to petrify those who feel emotions towards them. While Boa does this by using her beauty to affect whoever feels fascination for her, S-Snake charms people who can't help but feel tenderness for her cute appearance. 12. Sanji is the 3rd strongest member of the Straw Hat crew. Upon awakening his genetic potential as a Vinsmoke, he gained a tough exoskeleton, which boosted his physical capabilities and allowed him to use the Ifrit Jom. In Egghead, Sanji used his exoskeleton to block S-Shark's attacks. While he wasn't able to hurt S-Shark, Sanji definitely gave the impression of being overall stronger than him. Sanji also activated the exoskeleton to deflect the laser that Kizaru aimed at Vegapunk and Bonnie. This feat is impressive, as it should be impossible to deflect a laser, given its unique characteristics. Shortly after, however, Sanji was unable to defend Vegapunk from Kizaru. During the Egghead incident, Sanji also had to deal with some of the Gorosei. Unfortunately, he couldn't do much against Saint Saturn, who easily subdued him. To stop Saint Nosturo from hurting Bonnie, Sanji struck him with a powerful kick. However, Nosturo used his jaws to bite Sanji, tossing him away. Later, Sanji used his fully powered Ifrit Jom, Hell Memories as a part of a combined attack that he, Frankie, and Bonnie performed to support Luffy. 11. S-Bear along with S-Hawk. S-Bear is one of the 2 Seraphim whose toughness Luffy likened to Kaido's. Despite using Gear 4 and teaming up with Luchi, who was using his hybrid Zoan form, the Yonko-level Luffy was unable to injure S-Bear due to his Lunarian-like durability. Being based on Kuma, S-Bear likely carries his genetic traits as a buccaneer. What's certain is that S-Bear can use an artificial replica of the Paw fruit, which allows him to repel anything he touches with his pads as well as perform Kuma's trademark moves, including the Ursa Shock. 10. S-Hawk the cyborg based on Dracul Mihawk. S-Hawk appears to be the strongest Seraphim. Owing to Mihawk's lineage factor, S-Hawk has immense attacking power. With a single strike, he cut an island's biggest mountain in half, forcing the Yonko-level Blackbeard to cover himself in armament haki to withstand the blow. S-Hawk can turn his body into sharp steel blades via an artificial copy of the Dice fruit, increasing both his offensive and defensive abilities. Being empowered with King's Lunarian DNA, S-Hawk also has exceptional resilience. He was totally uninjured after withstanding attacks from the likes of Blackbeard and Roronoa Zoro. 9. Rob Luchi. Upon developing his haki and evolving his devil fruit, Rob Luchi dramatically improved his skills. With his newfound Zoan awakening, Luchi gained exceptional speed, stamina, and raw strength. He equally matched the now Yonko-level Luffy, albeit only briefly, when Luffy was using his all-powerful Gear 5 transformation. As the battle went on, Luffy clearly overpowered Luchi. Still, Luchi proved his toughness by taking 2 direct hits from Gear 5 Luffy with little to no damage. A third Gear 5 attack was needed to put Luchi down, and, even then, he was shown to be fine shortly after. During the fight with Luffy, Luchi attacked Sentomaru, defeating him with one single blow. Even though Sentomaru's defense could withstand at least a few attacks from Kizaru, Luchi slaughtered him while fighting the likes of Gear 5 Luffy in the meantime. When Luchi took revenge on Stussy, wounding her badly, Sanji didn't dare to attack him, even though the former had hurt a woman, an action that usually makes Sanji angry. Luchi then started fighting Roronoa Zoro. However, Luchi's efforts were vain in the face of Zoro's superior combat prowess. Eventually, Zoro outclassed Luchi, leaving him critical. 8. Roronoa Zoro. The right-hand man of Monkey D. Luffy, Roronoa Zoro is the 2nd strongest member of the Straw Hat Pirates. He excels in both physical prowess and haki. Already strong enough to block a combined attack from 2 Yonkos and seriously injure Kaido, Zoro got even better by learning the advanced Conqueror's Haki. He used this rare, all-powerful ability to defeat Kaido's right-hand man, the Lunarian Survivor King. By the time of the Egghead incident, Zoro is recognized as a master swordsman and the number 2 to the newly appointed Yonko Luffy. Despite being asleep, Zoro sensed and effortlessly blocked Kaku's Rankyaku. He then used his raw muscle strength to overpower Kaku's awakened Zoan form. After fending off S-Hawk multiple times, Zoro brutally defeated Luchi. The CP0 agent used his awakening to attack Zoro with a special Rokaseki technique, but Zoro easily dodged it. Zoro then struck Luchi with a Haki-imbued slash, critically injuring him. Luchi was still conscious, but the battle was over, as he was in no condition to move, let alone fight. The fact that Zoro defeated Luchi with a single attack, without even using Asura or the King of Hell style, is impressive since even Gear 5 Luffy needed multiple attacks to subdue the same foe. Shortly after, Zoro had an evenly matched clash with Saint Nosturo. The 2 swordsmen unleashed black Haki lightning all around until they repelled each other. Also considering this feat, it's safe to say that Zoro is now strong enough to compete against top-tier characters, but has yet to fully reach their level. 7. Saint Shepherd Jupiter. Saint Jupiter is one of the 5 elders, the highest-ranked celestial dragons, who hold political authority only second to that of the mysterious Imu. Far from being mere politicians, the elders are top-tier fighters. In addition to being formidable Haki users, they can turn themselves into fiendish creatures. As for Jupiter, he can transform into the Sandworm, a giant monster that digs underground and sucks everything around into a dreadful vacuum. Jupiter also has incredible regenerative powers, to the point where he can even survive being beheaded. Compared to the other Gorosei, however, his performance on Egghead was disappointing. 6. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Saint Saturn can transform into the Gyuki, a horned creature with sharp-pointed spider legs, which he can freely extend. He can also incinerate any target with corrosive poison. Saturn is such a powerful individual that his aura left Luffy, Kizaru, Zoro, and Luchi astonished, to the point where they temporarily stopped fighting. Projecting his aura from his eyes, Saturn can generate a force strong enough to completely subdue Sanji, Bonnie, and Frankie. However, he failed to subdue Luffy. Like the other Gorosei, Saturn is immortal. He regenerated after being crushed by Kuma, perforated by Frankie, and maimed by Brook. He even shrugged off Gear 5 Luffy's attacks, as well as a combined attack from Luffy and Bonnie. 5. Saint Marcus Mars. Saint Mars can turn himself into the Itsamade, a huge eerie bird with a serpentine body. This transformation enabled him to break through the lava phase's frontier dome without suffering any damage from the lasers of the defense system. Mars can fire ravaging energy beams from his mouth. Furthermore, he possesses incredibly powerful Haki, to the point where his aura left Jinbe frightened. All in all, Mars gives the impression of being the 3rd strongest Gorosei after Nosturo and Walkiri. 4. Borsalino. Kizaru, one of the original 3 Logia-wielding admirals, Kizaru can use the glint fruit to move and attack at the speed of light, which is telling of his quickness and power. His arsenal includes destructive and yet accurate laser beams, crippling kicks, a lethal lightsaber, and the ability to create light clones. Kizaru is also a highly proficient armament and observation Haki user, a fighter who volunteered to stop Kaido and Big Mom from meeting, implying that he could beat one of them. Kizaru easily defeated Sentomaru. Later, he showed clear superiority over Luffy's Gear 4 form, forcing the latter to use Gear 5. Luffy hit Kizaru with a powerful Haki Amp move, leaving him unable to move for a bit. Granted, Luffy had to consume all of his energy to perform this attack. After recovering, Kizaru kicked Sanji away and inflicted a mortal injury on Vegapunk. However, Luffy struck him once again, causing him to crash into a Navy ship. There, Kizaru asked the Marines to leave him alone to rest. Admittedly, the fight between Kizaru and Luffy was ambiguous. Despite supposedly losing to Gear 5 Luffy, Kizaru appeared unharmed after the battle. The impression is that, being displeased at his mission, Kizaru never put his maximum effort into the fight. In all fairness, this is nothing new, as One Piece has never shown an admiral truly going all out with his powers. Overall, Kizaru seems to be a stronger fighter than any Gorosei member seen in Egghead, save for Nosturo and Walkiri. Unlike Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, these two have demonstrated remarkable combat skills to add to their well-known immortality. 3. Monkey D. Luffy. After defeating Kaido, Monkey D. Luffy became a Yonko. A full-fledged top-tier fighter, Luffy can use the advanced forms of all three types of Haki, including even the all-powerful color of Conqueror. The captain of the Straw Hat Pirates also awakened the true potential of the human fruit model, Nika. To his previous gear transformations, which he could use to enhance his rubber-like body, Luffy added Gear 5, a new form that allows him to fight following his imagination, freely altering his body and the surroundings just like the fabled sun god, Nika. In Egghead, Luffy used Gear 5 to fight against Rob Luchi. At first, the two were equally matched, but Luffy soon gained the upper hand, beating Luchi. After facing the Seraphim, Luffy fought an overpowered Kizaru. However, he had to use up all of his energy to do so. After resting and recovering, Luffy withstood the same move that Saint Saturn had used to subdue Sanji, rendering him completely unable to move. Unlike Sanji, Luffy quickly broke free and counterattacked Saturn, blowing him away. Later, Luffy took on Saturn and Kizaru simultaneously, getting the better of both, which was an astonishing feat. Luffy then survived the full force of Saint Mars Blast. Shortly after, Sanji, Bonnie, and Frankie hit Luffy with all their strength to give him a momentum boost. Incredibly, Luffy endured their full power combined attack, converting its force into energy, which he used to send Mars flying. 2. Saint Ethanbaron v Nosturo. With his impressive arsenal of superhuman abilities, Saint Nosturo is one of the most powerful antagonists in One Piece. He can turn himself into the Baketsu, a fiendish horse capable of regenerating any injury. When Bonnie, Sanji, Frankie, and several giants tried to stall him, Nosturo easily overpowered their joint effort. Nosturo single-handedly defeated all of Egghead's pacifista cyborgs in a matter of seconds, proving that he can move at blazing speed. He disabled them by releasing a freezing aura through his sword. Nosturo is, in fact, an exceptionally powerful swordsman. Unsurprisingly, Nosturo's sword is one of the 12 supreme-grade blades, the Shodai Katetsu. With a basic slash, not even using a full-fledged named technique, he cut in half Egghead's laboratory in one shot. A testament to Nosturo's top-tier power, his Haki aura was described with the same word used for that of Shanks. When Zoro attacked him with a Haki-enhanced technique, Nosturo flawlessly blocked the attack. He then clashed with Zoro. The power struggle between the two master swordsmen ended in a draw, unleashing massive flashes of black Haki lightning. 1. Saint Topman Walkuri. Most fans consider Saint Nosturo and Saint Walkuri to be the strongest Gorosei, and for good reason. During One Piece's Egghead incident, Walkuri revealed his fearsome transformation into the Funshi, a huge demon boar with 4 fangs, which he can convert into blades. Walkuri's Haki is nothing less than extraordinary, as he could release a blast of Haoshoku strong enough to affect the entire Egghead, including the sea surrounding it. Even Luffy, despite being in his Gear 5 form, was pushed back and overwhelmed by Walkuri's color of Conqueror. Like the other Gorosei, Walkuri can regenerate from any injury. It is almost impossible to wound him in the first place, as his durability is astounding. He fully withstood a Haki-enhanced attack from Gear 5 Luffy, to the point where Luffy injured himself in the attempt to hurt him. Notably, a much weaker, pre-Gear 5 incarnation of Luffy could already damage Kaido's tough body. One Piece's Egghead power scaling can't ignore Emmet, the Iron Giant, a robot created during the Void Century. Emmet ended up lying dormant on Egghead as he ran out of energy. Upon hearing the drums of liberation, generated by Luffy's Gear 5 transformation, Emmet reactivated itself and released a Conqueror's Haki blast that Joy Boy had implanted into him, compressing it within a knot so that it could be used when the time was right. Joy Boy's unreal power overwhelmed the 5 elders, forcing them out of their demonic transformations and sending them back to Mary Joieuse. Clearly, such a feat would guarantee Emmet the first place in the list of the strongest One Piece characters involved in the Egghead incident. To be fair, it would guarantee Emmet a very high position in the list of the strongest individuals featured in the entire One Piece series. However, the exact extent of the Iron Giant's combat prowess can't be assessed, especially considering that its ability to unleash Joy Boy's Haki blast is a one-time thing. Granted, regardless of Joy Boy's Haki, Emmet is exceedingly powerful, as it could instantly recover after being struck by Walkuri, as well as counter-attack the Elder with enough force to injure him, something that even Luffy in his Gear 5 form failed to do. Still, until its individual capabilities are more thoroughly explored in a flashback, it's hard to rate how strong Emmett is in One Piece. It's not even known if he could use Haki on his own. Due to the many unanswered questions, it was decided not to include Emmett in the ranking, at least for the time being.